Okay, we are learning the Sicha of Parshas Veschanan, and it. Hold on a second. I'm not sure what's going on over here. Give me 1 second. Bring the thing up. Okay, we are learning the Sicha of the Lekutai Sichos Veschanan. We could maybe learn the Sicha before in other times. It was said Matis Maseh, I believe, in the year 1955. So it says like this. Hold on 1 second here. Not sure why it's not connecting. Okay. So it says like this. Parshas Shavua Nemer Parshas Shavua Nemer B'Davar Ari Miklat. We learn about the Ari Miklat in this week's parsha. It says, "Oz Yavdel Moshe Shalish Arim Lonis Shomer Tzech." That Moshe himself actually set up the cities of refuge. So it says like this: Hadrachim shahovilu the Ari Miklat hayu mitukanes. They had special roads or lanes or pathways that were very set up for the cities of refuge. We learned this is in the third reading. We learned about the Moshe setting up the cities of refuge on the east side of the river. Is hein hayu rechayiv They were wide 32 arm lengths, which is very wide, which is more than 16, which is what's considered a derech harabim. So it's double what would a public would need to consider a public road. And every time there was a turn on the road, is kavua shelet miklat miklat. There was signs saying this is the way to the city of refuge, so that you should know where to run. So the person running to the city of refuge should know where to go. So it says like this: and that's the way it is physically, that there has to be Ari Miklat, there has to be cities of refuge with signs saying that you have to go this way to get to the city of refuge, and it has to be 32 arm lengths wide. Moving so too in the spiritual city of refuge that we have to sometimes run to when we need to run away from life. Haim Divrei Torah, what is the city of refuge in our spirituality, is the words of Torah, which says Divrei Torah Koltin, that the words of Torah can give someone refuge, gather in someone. The Harg Nefesh Baruch is someone who spiritually killed someone, meaning to say you haven't killed someone physically, and doesn't mean necessarily you killed someone spiritually, but you've put to death spirituality. As the Rebbe spoke about in the Maimer. His Kaimoisim Pratim has all those rules. It has to be a double wide public road, and it has to have signs that say refuge.
Wait a minute, just to clarify, it says in the Torah portion about spiritual refuge?
No, but the Torah talks about a physical city of refuge. But in the how should we say it? In the Chassidus and Maimorim, it explains that this is also alluding to a spiritual refuge. And we have that idea says many times in the Maimorim. Let's see 1 second, what's going on over here? I'm trying to figure it out. Just give me guys a second. I'm trying to figure something out. We're trying to do a live stream. Okay, I guess I'm not sure how to do it. I have to ask someone. So it says like this: the truth is that it goes the opposite. It's not because something is physically is why it's there spiritually. I mean to say, it's not like we look at the Torah and say, oh, if the Torah tells us about a spiritual law, I don't know, don't put a cow and a donkey together, don't to mow the lawn or to plow the field, or whatever the halach is, and we say, so this is the pshat, this is the simplicity of the mitzvah. But if we want to understand the sod of the mitzvah, so you're asking Sharna if it says in the Torah clearly, every mitzvah has the sod aspect, which is the ruchnius concept, which is either the hayra, the lesson we learn, or the component of the mitzvah that's in the way of sod. And there's remez and drush as well. So it's not that you look at that because it's like this physically, that's why it's like that spiritually. The Rebbe says it's the opposite. It's not because this is the physical law, so this is the material law, so this is how it is in the spiritual law. On the contrary, the main part is the spiritual concept of the law, aspect of the law. And from there comes the details of the physical law, the way it is in this world. And since it's like that, so then that's the way it is. That's the way it is also in the physical. And this doesn't only apply to mitzvahs. This also applies to worldly things. Famous chassid who said, when the Tsar's government fell, he says, "Oh, what's going to be the mashal of Malchus now in the world?" Meaning to say that for him to understand the concept of Malchus by God, he looked at the Tsar to see this is a reflection of Malchus in the world, of Malchus by God. So if there's no Malchus in the world, how are we going to have the example of Malchus about Hashem if it doesn't exist anymore in the physical space? And as the Shalah HaKadosh says, the Gabe HaOmer, HaTorah medaberes b'tachtoinim, the Shalah teaches us, the Torah talks about things in the material, in this world, v'reimezes, and is hinting to us about Yoinim, what's really happening in the spiritual realms. The truth is, medaberes HaTorah ben Yoinim. He says, the Rebbe says, the truth is that the Torah is really talking in the worldly, is all about worldly things. And all we get is this hint in the lower world. Just like it's like this in all things of the Torah, so this applies to Ari Miklat, the cities of refuge as well. Everything that there is in the physical is also in the spiritual. Whereas the main idea is in the spirituality of the mitzvah, and therefore it plays out in the physical as well. So the Rebbe says like this: if we would be worthy, we would understand everything. We would have a clarity of how things are in the physical and how is it hinting to things in the spiritual. If we would understand the way it is spiritually, and because of that, we would understand surely it has to be like that material in the physical world as well. Everything that's in the world, we could use it, that we could look at it from above down, that we see it the way it is by God, the way it is in the spirituality, and therefore we see it, we appreciate it, how it comes into the physicality. We can see everything in a ruchnius idea. So too it has to be in the physical. And this applies to everything. Again, it's not just the Torah mitzvahs part. It applies to everything we see in the world. That you could see it you could look at it from above down, and you see, oh, this is now I see this idea that is in Ruchnius, how it plays out in Gashmis. He says, my father-in-law, the previous Rebbe, Sipur, told the story. His father, the Rebbe Rashab, which is the fifth Rebbe Chabad, of Shalom Dov Bershin Harrison, he didn't like. It disturbed him. He didn't like that when he washed his hands for bread, and he said that in Netilas Yadayim, and until a lot of times people wash and then they wait for everyone to come to the meal until they make the bracha on the hamotzi, and that's okay because you could wait because you washed your hands. You have to just keep your hands clean. But the Rebbe Rashab didn't like if people disturbed him in between, asked him a question or whatever it was. He wanted to go straight to the mitzvah of making bread. He didn't want to have sick. So, even though, like I said, halachically, only if it's a long period of time, or if he speaks, then it would be a hefsek between washing and your hands and making that maitzi. He didn't like people to even disturb his thinking, like to show him something or whatever, what have you, that would cause him to think about something that he would take away from his concentration of the washing the hands connected to the eating the bread. Between washing the hands and the making the hamotzi.
Isn't that kind of a general idea, not just with regard to him?
Well, no, in general idea, it's not, so to say, polite to disturb someone while they're trying to get ready for Moitzi. But by the Rebbe Rashab, what disturbed the Rebbe Rashab is that he
I
didn't
know, I
want.
get that he was disturbed by it, but isn't that a general rule that you don't speak between washing and eating?
No, but he didn't want to even think. Speak for sure not.
Okay,
He didn't even want someone to say make him think in between.
right.
So he's leading up to a story.
But somebody making him think, it means probably somebody speaking. Anyway,
Oh yeah, someone else is speaking to him.
Yeah.
That person could have not washed, but he washed. So Bishnas Tafresh, he tells a story. Bishnas Tafresh Nun Dalit in the year 1894 or 95, Gilu Chachmei Refuah, the scientists have revealed Orik Chodesh B'moyach, a new artery in the brain, Hamasai Lizikaron Ul Hamaka, that help a person in their memory and into being deep in a subject. One of the children, one of his brothers, it says over in the footnote, his brother Menachem Mendel, which was born on the 6th of Adar, Tafresh Chav Zayin, and buried in Tzfat. So he, and that's his brother. So his younger brother read, I guess, a publication or an article, and so while he came in, while the Rebbe Rashab had already washed his hands before he had said that, and he told him that he read in his journal such and such thing that the scientists have come. He listened. He wasn't happy because he had to pay attention, but he didn't say anything. Obviously, he washed. He didn't even. He waited the whole meal. After he benched, he said, "Wait a second." He went into his study room, his yechidus room. He brought out journals of handwritten notes on Chassidus or Torahs of Chassidus from their great grandfather, the Mittler Rebbe, the son of the Alter Rebbe Dov Ber, who he was named after. Behera Shibeshesh Sheva Shureis Sham, he showed in 6-7 lines in a subject that he wrote. Meduber Ba'irigza, that the Mittler Rebbe wrote about this maybe 100 or whatever it was years before in his journals, before it came to publication by the scientists. So and the Mittler Rebbe explained over there about this artery. Sham Shekaim b'moyach vrij humole adim umisnanei lekanu lekan v'humasei zikaron v'lamaka. That there's an artery that's, so to say, full of blood, that it moves, it seems like, and for some reason or another, it helps with memory and depth. So to say, I guess it moves some way or another to awaken the wisdom and understanding within the brain. And therefore it also helps with memory. This is what the Mittler Rebbe writes in a piece of Chassidus. And he says, if you push your head upwards, so it helps you in depth. And if you push it helps you in memory. And if you push if you push your head downwards, then it helps in depth. One of the two. Therefore, when a person, the Rebbe says, if a person tries to remember something, they pick their head up. And you want to get deep, a person puts their head down. It's because of that artery. So automatically the subconscious of the body knows about this artery. So when you want to remember something, a person picks their head up. And when you want to get deep into something, to concentrate on the subject, you put your head you put your head down. I'm a little upset because I try to stream this live and I didn't figure it right, and I see people waiting on the okay, either way. So it says, Professor Godel. So someone asked the Rebbe Rashab, evidently if the Mittler Rebbe wrote about this years before it was published in the publications from the universities, so the Mittler Rebbe must have been a great professor. So the Mittler Rebbe, the Rebbe Rashab answered, he didn't know it from the science. He knew it from, that's the way it is by God. And everything by God is a reflection down this world. In the way in Adam Kadmon. Yeshna Hadavid, this is this concept. So he knew surely it's in this world. It means he doesn't know it from the science of this world. He knows if it's like this by God. If it's like this by God, surely it's like this also by humans as well. So this what the Rebbe is pointing out with this story is the same thing as like everything like this, and that everything that is Lamaila, you could see it from above, and from above we understand the way it is below. This is only about medical questions.
Might that be that obvious with something like the original example, with the Ori Miklot, it would be more obvious, but with some things it wouldn't be so obvious.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Kolshkin. He's saying even surely that there's definitely more. There's some things that are. He says Iluzachina. The Rebbe says if we're merit, some things are more obvious, some things are less obvious. Das Kolshkin and Yonim Shabbatayr Vadi Shef Shalasigim Mederech Malmai Lamata. Claimer Lilkoites an Yonim Kifi Shehem Beruchnius. Mamish, I'm a little upset because it's not. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Well, why don't those people do it the way that we usually do it?
Meaning what?
Well, like clicking on the email you sent out.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to give people the opportunity to see it also through YouTube. But whatever. Let's see if I'm not sure if it's working.
But maybe you can tell them that they have to go to the email.
Yeah,
it's not working.
Okay. Either way, so it says like this. So Kol Shekain, so the Rebbe says even surely this is the way it is in Torah. Vadesh Efshel Asigim B'derech Milmai Lamata, that we could also for surely see it the way it is from above down. Kloimer Lilkoi Tesen Yonim K'fi Sheim Beruchnius, to see the way things are spiritually. And we should see things the way they are physically, and from there automatically we will see the way they are. Understand the way it is. Start off, look at it the spiritual, and we'll know how it is physical. Like it says in the Geras HaKodesh, that when we study the things spiritually, we'll understand how things will be in the material physically. So the Rebbe says like this, but the Rebbe says, however, we're not worthy of this, meaning to say, we don't know exactly how things are in every situation. So first we have to look at everything the way they are from this world, and from then to try to understand how it is by Hashem. To understand how it is by Hashem. So the Rebbe is basically saying is that if we're worthy, we would know how things are from a top down, meaning that we would know things from Torah. From Torah, we would understand surely that's the way it is in this world. But we're not Zaycha. Because we're not Zaycha, we're not worthy, so we have to analyze things below. And here the Rebbe is coming to our subject at hand, the Ari Miklat, the cities of refuge. So the Rebbe is like this. Kederach shebegashmi is the same thing. Sayeu Ari Miklat leirak laharik nefesh b'shkaga. The Rebbe says rule number one is the city of refuge is not just for someone who killed someone by mistake. Kim gam laharik nefesh mezid. Even if someone kills someone purposely, intentionally, also they could run initially to the Ari Miklat. First, you run to the Ari Miklat, to the city of refuge, until the Bezdin does all their investigation in the court and the ruling. Then until it means, let's say someone killed someone, even intentionally, so you run to the city of refuge. Then you have your court case, and if you have to be put to death, you get put to death. If the Bezdin says you're not even worthy to stay in the city of refuge and you're going to have to hide from the family members, the Gol Hadam, the people that are trying to claim the blood of their relatives. So that's what's going to have to happen. But until the court case, everyone goes to the city of refuge. And why? So until that time, lo yahargu b'intayim, that the Gol Hadam, the person who's coming to redeem the blood of his loved or her loved one, is not going to kill them. Kach gam ruchnis. So too is like that spiritually. Koltim divdei Torah gamas aharg nefesh b'mezid. Even if a person intentionally is a person that so to say, killed someone intentionally. Someone who does an avera purposely. Nevertheless, Torah is also a place of refuge for such a person. It's just like in the physical. That just like in the physical, the city of refuge is very wide to gather in any person that could run there. And also there was a signs that help a person in to tell them that where to run. That just to have wide roads is not enough. If this kill doesn't know where to run. So you could have wide roads, but if you don't know where to run, what's that help you? So we have to have wide roads, which means even though a public road needs 60 namas, meaning to say for the public to walk comfortably, we need 60 namas. Here, how many people are running to the Ari Miklat? One person, once in a while. How often do people kill people? So it's one person, and nevertheless, it's a double wide road for a public road, and it has signs that says Miklat Miklat. So kach gam ruchni, so too spiritually. That the pathway to go to Torah is very wide, and there's many opportunities for a person to go study Torah. And not only that, there's the spiritual signs. Because God gives us free choice. Like it says further in Dvarim, I'm giving you today the good and the live and the good, and the death and the bad. If you're not going to give proper roads, a person may go left instead of right. May choose death over and bad over good. So God, so to say, stands there with a sign that says Miklat Miklat. Here's a city of refuge. He tells the person, go in the right way, in the right and the right. Choose life. The sign is like it means Hashem helps a person. Because the free choice everyone has, because a person can maybe choose the wrong direction. Therefore, we all need help from above. God shows that person. Miklat is a place to run. Go to the place of life and good. Even Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai himself said, I don't know what way I'm going. Even others. And especially a person who's standing in a dark space, a double dark space. We may not know which direction we're running. We think we're running to life and we're running to death. So Kadosh Baruch Hu has to stand there with a sign saying, this is the direction to Torah. This is the direction to life. We need Hashem to stand there. So here the Rebbe is teaching us something that not always where sometimes we think we're running to the city of refuge. We're not, running the wrong direction. So Hashem has to not only make wide roads, not only make the city of refuge, even for a person who intentionally is an over aver, doesn't aver, but Hashem still nevertheless has to create a sign to say this is the path to life. So if a person wants, how do you make sure that God's standing there on your road, in your life, telling you where to run? Maybe how do we know that God's going to stand there for you? So he says, you also have to do that. God works with people, how you behave is how he behaves. If you want God to stand on your road and guide you where you have to run, so you have to go stand yourself on the road. Yehudim, for other Jews, they also don't know where to run. Which direction is life? Which direction is good? You have to run to them and stand on their road of their life and say, Miklat, Miklat, this is where the city of refuge is. Pani Yamina, turn right. To the proper direction, to the city of refuge. Miklat Megoyal Adam, run away from the person who's seeking your blood, who's the Satan. Who sits there and tries to be a Satan and say words of Kitrug. Run away from that person. If you're running in the wrong direction, you're running into his hands. Don't go to the left side. That's to take you to Shaol, to the abyss and to loss. The Rebbe says it's not enough that the Ari Miklat is that God stands for you on the road. If you want God to stand and guide you, well, you need to do. You don't. Sometimes everyone has safek. Everyone has doubt. Everyone is in a place of the unknown. Even Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says, I don't know what way I'm going. So if you want to inspire that God should stand there with clear signs directing you in your life. Do for others what you want Hashem to do for you. This is the job everyone has. Stand on the pathways, especially the what do they call it? The split, where things are, where someone could go the wrong direction. And stand there, scream out, city of refuge, city of refuge. Show the person where they have to go. Notwithstanding, even though you yourself, the person may say, how could I stand on the road where a person could go the wrong direction and guide them? I myself am standing in a crossway. I don't know myself where I'm supposed to be. The Rebbe says, notwithstanding with that, that if you want to get direction in your life, you have to stand on the crossroads of other people's lives. So he says, you shouldn't be overwhelmed with the fact that you're also sitting in the precious in the crossroads, because specifically because of what you're doing for others. What you're doing, what you have to do, Hashem is going to take care of you as well. And this is like he says, the Rebbe brings down the famous story from the Baal Shem Tov, a student of Baal Shem Tov. Like Reb Mordechai the righteous said in the name of the Baal Shem Tov. We learned the story many times. A soul comes down in this world, could live a life of 70, 80 years. Just to do a material favor for another Yid. Specifically, even spiritually. So therefore I'm telling you, the Rebbe says, stand on the crossroads of life. Maybe, you stand, this person says, 1 second, I'm going to stand on the crossroad. How many people are running to the city of refuge? Maybe I could stand the whole day. I could stand 70 years, no one's running my direction. The Rebbe says, you never know. So the Rebbe says, always find yourself on the crossroads of other people's questions. Maybe one time it's going to be that you could guide a Jew, to show the Jew, that person, their path to Torah. And when you do that, when you're ready to commit yourself, that's not, you don't care if it's a busy road or if it's a road that no one travels, but you stand there waiting on the crossroad just in case there's one person that needs to be guided. So the Eibusher is also going to do that in your life. God is also going to guide you to the path of good and the path of life. A person stands on a pathway of a crossroad of life. And he holds a sign that says Miklat Miklat. You don't even know if anyone's watching, if anyone's paying attention to you. You don't know if one person's paying attention to what you have to say. You don't even see a person. No one's walking on the road. That doesn't bother the person. You are like a sign standing there, showing the person where to run. Where is the city of refuge? Where a person could run and find refuge from the Yetzer Hara, miklat min Satan, to find refuge from the Satan. The Rebbe continues, page 72. A person may feel, I've done nothing. I stood on the pathways I stood on the crossroads of life, trying to be there as a sign and guiding people, helping people possibly find their direction. And no one's walking, no one's paying attention. So the Rebbe says that doesn't make a difference. You have to do your job. You have to stand on the crossroads. You have to be there, available, to show Jewish people where the city of refuge is. And therefore, God, seeing that you're doing what you have to do, He's going to stand on your pathway and guide you how you have to go. Even if you are a person, he says, that is a servant of Elohim, and you haven't yet reached the level of servant of Yudke Vavke. Klaimer, what does that mean? Even though you're an Oived Elikim, you're not Ovad, but you haven't yet become a servant. You're still in the process of becoming a servant. You yourself haven't perfected yourself. Nevertheless, you're still in the middle of your own work, or your own path. Even sheyesh la yadayin yetzer hara. What does that mean? You're still in your own path. You also have struggles. You're also struggling with the yetzer hara. Not only have you not found any weakness, hey Lorraine, that yetzer hara in you is as strong as it always was. It hasn't weakened at all. The yetzer hara is coming even stronger. It's it says the yetzer hara becomes stronger with the more it's being used. So and it's chazik yeser behemshech hazman shenishtamesh by harbor bachilu v'shtiya v'shar nyan ya'elam hazeh. And it's being the more you eat and the more you use it in worldly things, the yetzer hara gathers more strength. And he says, and the yetzer hara is there, and you may make, because of the yetzer hara, he may entice you to make the wrong choices. Nevertheless, God's going to stand there on the path for you to choose good and life. God is going to help you in the judges that are there in your life, the ones who are giving you counsel, that you should make the right choices. So the Rebbe continues. My father-in-law once said, what is the difference between the holy Baal Shem Tov, or the great scholars of the revealed Torah, meaning the Talmud and the law that were in his times, the great scholars of the revealed parts of Torah, they would come. The teachers were where they were, in their yeshivas or their cities, and the students came to study by them. The students would come to them to learn. Baal Shem Tov and his students, they didn't wait and say, "Listen, put out a call card." They put up signs. Meir Sharm says the Baal Shem Tov now resides in such and such synagogue and such yeshiva, and therefore everyone and anyone is welcome to come join. No, the students of the Baal Shem Tov and the Baal Shem Tov himself, they didn't wait for people to come to their yeshiva. They traveled different places that Jewish people found themselves. The Rebbe continues, there's an idea that's explained by the Alter Rebbe and his son, the Mittel Rebbe. The Rebbe says there's other explanations, and that's already been published. He says, for example, this difference is also in how we view the city of refuge. We said before, there's the way the revealed Torah sees the idea of the city of refuge, and there's the way the hidden secrets of Torah understand as the secrets of the city of refuge. If you look at it according to the revealed parts of Torah, so it says, Amud Even Va'alav Kasav Miklat Miklat. You put up a sign on a beam or a stone that says City of Refuge, City of Refuge. That was enough. Amud Le'Panel Azuz. The stone didn't approach the person. The stone is there. The beam is there. The beam wasn't interactive. It just was a sign that someone who wants to go to the beam and read what the sign is, then they'll know what the sign is telling them, what the beam has to offer. If a person decided to stop and to leave and knows how to read, could read the sign and know what the sign has to tell them. So too spiritually. There's certain people. There's a person who may go to the pathways and of life. So there's some people who say, okay, I'll go. You want me? I'll go to the city of refuge. I'll stand there. You want me to, if you have a question, ask me. I'm there. I'm available for you. Right? You say, someone will be available from such and such time. So you do part of the effort. You go all the way down to the crossroads of life and available for someone to ask you if they want to ask you something. The Rebbe says yes. If you want to evaluate the person gave up their time. It's self-sacrifice of their time for other people. You went to you actually got up and went to the crossroads of life to make yourself available. You haven't really changed. You're just standing there like a beam. So you could stand in the crossroads of life as a beam, and if someone wants to walk over to you, like they walk over to a telephone pole that has a sign, they'll look at it and say, okay, there's something here for me. Hifkins al shoin hayu aimrim hu tzayid heilig v'shayv hu heilig l'lay herif ach en izazim kaime. If you want technically, and if you look on the watch and you want to mark, yes, you went and you stood and all the things time-wise. It means technically you did what you had to do. But Chassidus says it's not enough. Don't be a beam. You're not meant to be a beam. Be interactive. Be a person of movement. Be alive. Be warm. Don't wait for someone to come and ask you, what does your sign say? You have to be out there. You see another Jew. Maybe you could help them, show them the sign of Miklat, of where the Torah is. Go out, run and engage that person. Don't let them wait for the person to come and ask you where you have to be. And you want to know, this is what the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe wanted with his students. In Saya, this is the Rebbe's teaching in the year 1952. The Rebbe's teaching already the ideas of shlichus, going out there. Lishfuas misbar likrai miklat. The Rebbe would send out people on shlichus, especially the Bachrim would go out in the summer months. Show the place of life, show the place of good. That they should be people who are signs. People that are showing the way. But you have to be, don't be a beam, be alive. Don't be a beam of stone. That's just positioned, placed in the ground somewhere. Show everyone the path of the city of refuge. So it says like this. The Talmud tells us, and the Rambam brings it down, that this is the law. Always look that the world is mamish 50-50. Anything could happen, right? And yesh lahari says kol adam kinosim b'matzav shakol. You should always view yourself as mamish in an equal situation, that any good deed or bad deed for that matter could tip the scale. One good or bad deed could switch the scales one direction. Yes, okay, more than that. Yesh Lira says, not just your life. Look at the whole world. The whole world is in balance. Anything could happen in any moment, right? What does it mean? Now he says, the Rebbe says even more, not just the whole world, that the whole world right now is in balance, the whole creation is in balance. All the generations to come and all the generations to before us and after us are all waiting possibly for one deed that we could do that could turn the scales one way or the other. The Rebbe says, when a young boy goes out to the crossroads of life, to show the way, the Karv Leiv B'nai Yisrael, to inspire and to bring close the hearts of the Jewish people, to the Father in heaven. Before you go out there, think the fact that the entire world, everything is hanging in a balance. Not just your life, not just the world, but all the generations before you and after you are hanging in the balance. Anything you're going to do could change how things are going to be for the future. Hold on a second, I got lost the place here. And any good deed, I think the printing mistake here, is Yavia Ish Yisrael, that is going to help bring another Jew. Asid Lachriya Sa'olam Kulei could turn the scales of the whole world. Don't be a standstill sign. Ki im shalt chai, be a sign, be a live sign. Go out with energy. Maybe you could be inspiration on someone. And not only that, it's not just a question of success, it's a question the whole world's dependent on that. Not just that you should be a sign available at the crossroads, but what kind of sign are you? Are you alive? Or are you just standing there? Are you to be yaitza? So he says, and you have to Yisraitz go from one place to the next. When you meet a Yid, Yazberla, explain them. You have to that the Jew has to know. So don't worry, no matter where you are, find yourself in life. Your whole life is in the balance. And even if he's a great sinner, you have to know with one action, with one change of mind, you could switch the balance of your life in the positive. Mitzad, he says like this. Mitzad sheni. The other side, you have to explain him. I love the das, the person must know. You have to also tell them that the other side is, the flip side is, that maybe if you do one bad thing, it may go to the wrong direction. And therefore, he says, chas v'sham, God forbid. Because you have free choice, you could choose whatever you want. You can maybe make the wrong choices. Make sure you make the choices of life and good. And you should be there standing, helping the person how to make that choice. We have another, let's see if I have enough time to finish because we have to go. And the Rebbe continues along this line of the idea of Ari Mikla, but this is a very powerful idea. The Rebbe is saying is, and to put it all in a nutshell, the Rebbe is saying is that the idea of the Ari Mikla is in Ruchnius, is a person has to be themselves the sign that guides people in the crossroads of life. And even if you yourself are full of doubt and you yourself are full of the unknown, and you don't even know the direction, what's life and good for you, if you want Hashem to stand there and show you what you have to do, be available to show others what they have to do. And then Hashem will be Mida connected Mida. God will stand there for you as well to show you your path in your life, what you have, the choices you have to make. And the Rebbe says it's not enough just to say, okay, I'm going to, what do you want? I went and I traveled and I stood there and no one came to me. Go be aggressive in a positive and a friendly way, but go out there, be alive, be friendly, be engaging. And if there's someone who doesn't want to walk over to the pole and see what the message is, go out there and engage that person and show that person the path of good, the path of bad. Show them how the world's hanging in balance, and any choice to make l'tov l'ra can be effective, not just for their life, but for the whole world and the past and future as well. All right, good Shabbos, everyone. Take care, and thank you all for joining.
Thank you.